So I'm deciding to take a leap of faith, taking the risk on a new adventure. And it's loud over there, so I'm gonna turn around. But I feel like a lot of us, a lot of the times, want something new to spark up in our lives. But it's always that, that risk factor that kind of, plays with your mind. It tricks your mind. It got you thinking, like, man, is this really the right decision? And when you think about it, like, humans, like, naturally, we're pretty, I feel like most of us are pretty, like, risk adverse, right? We're not trying to take on all these major risks, because if we lose it all, like, man, we're gonna be so farther behind than where we're at, right? For example, taking a leap of faith. Oh man, it's getting windy. Taking a leap of faith was, I mean, shoot, me dropping out of college without telling my mom, signing up for truck school, and going to that when she thought I was going to the community college I was going to. And then I finally told her once I I got my license and I got a job. Like, I went through the whole interview process. I went through all of that. So I mean, that whole thing was a major risk, and kind of I was kind of scared on what people were going to say, how how life was even going to go. But I knew I didn't want to go to school. I knew I didn't want to waste another. I had probably like 18-ish months left of school. But I knew that if I would have stayed for 18 months, I would have lost that time. First off, the time, the money, right? Because you're going to, I would have went into another 25K ish debt, plus the time factor of me not making money during that time, right? Because, man, that program, I went to it was like a dental hygiene program. Man, that stuff was no joke. And it's hard doing something like that when you're not, like, passionate. I had no desire, no passion for that program, for doing any of that stuff. So it was so hard to, like, learn the information, retain it, and, like, I don't know, like, I've always been like this. Like, it's probably weird, but it's like I feel like my brain only has so much capacity to learn shit. So it's like I'm not gonna I don't want to waste brain capacity on learning dumb school stuff when I've always wanted to do my own thing. I've always wanted to do something that I was passionate in, right? When it came to, I mean, the only the only subject I was really good at in school was math, because I don't even know, like numbers and, like, stuff like that. That I don't even know why, but it just came easy to me, right? And I get a lot of people struggle with like the numbers and stuff. I don't know. It was super easy. Like, I just think back to like trig, calculus, college algebra, like literally anything, bro. It was always so easy to me for some reason. But regardless, I never really tried in any of the subjects in school. Just like grade school, all the way up, graduate high school, stuff like that. I never, like, who I never really learned any of this stuff, if I'm being honest. Like, I managed to probably like half the stuff. I got resourceful, let's just say. I used the resources that they were giving me, right? And it wasn't cheating, because, I mean, you see it in the real world. People use resources all the time. You got big companies, stuff like Elon and stuff. He uses big smart people to help him out, right? Is that cheating? Nah, it's just being smart, using his resources, right? So, anyway, I gotta make sure this thing recording. I went through a whole thing of getting my CDL, which was a risk, and now I'm realizing, like, I'm pretty sure we're pretty risk averse as people, is what I was trying to get at. And so right now I'm going through a thing, and it's kind of hard to make the leap. I'm debating on going over the road for the first time as a truck driver, and like, so I've had my CDL for almost 2 years now. So for 2 years, I've had a local job, meaning every single night I'm coming home as a trucker, right? So I'm not staying in like a sleeper cab where you see, most truckers, right? I've only had 2 jobs, but they were both local, okay? And now I'm going through a phase where it's like, I think I think being over the road might be beneficial for me, but it's like that leap of faith and that risk right now that I'm hesitant on, right? Like, I'm so used to my daily schedule to where I would just go to work, I would clock out, and then I can do whatever I want, right? So that I can go to the gym every single day right after work, or come home and do anything that I wanted to do. I mean, these past 2 years, I just been working different jobs. Like this last one, like beginning of the year, I was doing, well, 2 jobs. One was like a photography thing. So this photography thing was like Saturdays only. And I was doing like weddings mainly. Sometimes I'd do like school dances, and I don't even know. It was like a photo booth. But then come like weekdays, I was working at this restaurant, I guess you would call it. I was gonna call it fast food. It's not really fast food, but it's not really. I don't know. I don't think it's a real restaurant to me, but it could be. You could call it that. So, oh my. So you got this restaurant, right? So I just get off my truck job and go grind it, grind it out at the restaurant, and weekends either chill with some people, or just work photography, right? But that was kind of that was my whole daily thing, right? Even when I first got my CDL, it was all about, all right, I'm not gonna be over the road. I don't want to do that. I don't know how people could live like that. Like, you're not really getting paid that much more. But I've been considering it because I think I have too much I don't want to say free time, but I'm not working towards like my purpose, I'm not really too purposeful in what I'm doing, right? So beginning of the year, if I'm working a truck job for 8, 10 hours, whatever, right? I mean, it's kind of with the job. You don't know when you get off, which, whatever. But let's just say it probably averaged like 9 hours. Probably just average out 9.5. And I get off, I go to the gym, I work a different job. Like, I'm not really doing nothing purposeful for me, right? I've always wanted to do like making videos and like helping others, inspiring others. And I love like I love giving out advice, honestly. Like, with problems I have, like, because there's younger kids that I work with, just with anything. And what the heck? I don't know. I just love giving advice, right? And I feel like this YouTube channel, is this dude crossing the street? All right. So it ain't the best thing to be out here at 2:35 in the morning, but I feel like it's so much peaceful. I can just walk. Oh, this dude, I'm turning around. I'm not doing this. I'm not doing this. This GoPro kind of sucks. I don't think it picked it all up. But anyways, I found just like helping people, and it brings me fulfillment. It's kind of like enjoyable, and so that's why I even started making the YouTube videos, because it's crazy when I think about uh, doing YouTube. I have this little notebook. I gotta pull it up one day. I'm sure I'm gonna talk about it in the future, and I'll pull it up. I have this notebook that I have, and I was like in elementary school. I'm talking like second, third, fourth grade, somewhere around there is when I got it, and I had it for I used it for like multiple years, and I only dedicated myself to put like important stuff in it, right? Because as a kid, you have multiple stuff, like multiple notebooks and pencils and whatever you got. But this notebook was very important, only important stuff, right? And back then, I had to write. I wrote people's numbers in it. First off, I wrote like family members' numbers, and because at the time, well, I think my first phone was a flip phone, and then I lost it, and I didn't get another one. My mom didn't give me another one for shoot how long. But regardless, if I needed someone else's phone, I had to write their number down in order to use their phone, right, and have my own to store as a contact. It is good for kids to memorize people, like a few important people's numbers, but this is like family members' numbers. Regardless, I was putting important info, and I found myself going through it not too long ago, and I'm like, man, when I think about it, I've always wanted to have like a YouTube channel. And it's so funny because like I remember what was it? It was probably like fourth, fifth, sixth grade, right? When the Xbox, that's when I first got my Xbox 360. I got my, hello, shit, man, they can't be doing that. I already got my head on a swivel. See, this is a good thing the camera's on my chest because it would just keep shaking. I keep my head on a swivel. Oh, jeez. That kind of threw me off. Anyways, when I was a kid, when I first got the Xbox 360, I with the 360, I first, just wanted to play the game, right? I wanted to play Black Ops. Black Ops 1 was my first game that was actually mine, right? That's a whole nother story I'll get into another day. But when I got into it, I remember I always wanted to do YouTube because I remember watching YouTubers back then. And I'm like, man, this is sweet. I want to do something like that. So in this notebook, I found, like, I remember doing the research too. I was like, everything that I need to be a YouTuber. So then I'm like, all right, so let me research everything. So at the time, is there someone in there? I'm not gonna sit there. That was kind of creepy. It was like a shadow of someone. I think it's a clothes store, so it's like clothes, but I don't know. I'm not sitting in front of a mannequin. And I see someone else walking. But I'm tripping. I'm about to start recording in the car at this point because this is a little too much for me. So with the 360, okay, I there was like a capture card you needed. I needed a PC. I needed a monitor. I needed all that stuff in order to start gaming and recording it. And well, if you know anything about that stuff, even just PCs, that stuff ain't cheap. This stuff is not cheap, and I ain't really, I don't know, I probably didn't convince my mom hard enough on it that it actually was important. I actually did want to do it. So I never got it. I just kind of got like newer games and stuff like Christmas or whatever for my birthday. So I never really got into it, but I did have a phone. Let me think. I think it was like a Note 4, a Samsung Note 4. I had that in it was like 6th, 7th grade. I had that, and with it, I set it up. So I kind of set the phone up like this, and I put it on my, on the TV. I put it on the TV, and I just started recording like dumb videos. And it's so crazy because I still have those videos today, and I sound crazy. I sound, bro. I don't want to get to how I sound. Actually, probably a few months ago, I found it and I showed my mom it, and I was like, "Bro, there's no way I used to sound like this." Like this is like all-time squeaker vibes. And it's crazy because all of us sounded like that in middle school. I never even realized it. And I just think about it. I'm like, dang, man, middle school was almost 10 years ago. It's just crazy to see how my life turned out 10 years later. But regardless, like, I did it for a little bit, then I stopped. And then, what was it? High school came, picked back up, and I wanted to do YouTube again. So then the PS4 came out, and I saw it had a capture card in it. So I'm like, all right, cool. This has a capture card in it. I'm going to get the PS4 instead of the new Xbox because I want to make YouTube videos. So that was kind of my little excuse. Then I put in, I started making some videos. The editing took forever on those videos, man. I hated I've always hated editing. Like with these videos, I don't even, this is minimal editing because it's like, it's more about the message now, versus like the content. Yeah, you kind of need all that editing when you're trying to do, I don't know, make funny videos or even like gaming videos, stuff like that. Like, yeah, you need cuts like that. Like this, what I'm trying to do now is I give like actual advice, like give actual like perspective on something, so minimal cuts here and there, but like I'm not trying to go through every 10-second bit and cut every dead time out or add stupid captions and stupid memes or you know you, everybody's seen a good video before, right? But it's like, for what? So that was kind of my whole thing for stopping in high school, and then I picked it up right around pandemic era because I had so much time again, and it just never really stuck, right? And I'm coming back to it now, right? Taking this risk, as now I feel like I have a little bit of insight on life, right? Because making videos back then, I can't really give you no insight, no advice in life because, well, I didn't go through anything. Now I feel like, I've been through the ringer. I've been around the block a few times, as they say. And now I feel like I have something like valuable to offer, and I do see myself in 10, 15, 20 years being like a mentor to like younger kids, like high schoolish like age, and that's something I would do, honestly. Like if I retired, like that whole thing, what would you do if you didn't have to work anymore? I'd probably help out like a school or something and just guide kids, man, because it's hard. And I just kind of wish I had that guidance. It's something I never really had. I have my uncle, right? And I love him and everything like that, but I feel like it's different from having like an actual like father figure or a true like mentor in life, because I'm still, obviously I'm still figuring it out now, but had to figure out a lot just to get me to where I'm at now. And I got way more to go. So my whole thing with taking risks. I mean, sometimes you gotta weigh out your options. Honestly, get you one of these, get you a notepad and a pen, and write out your thoughts, man. Because I was always trying to put it, I'll try to battle myself in my head. I'd always try to think things through in my head. Okay, this is the good side, this is the bad side of it. Okay, now here's the good side of this, but the bad side of this. Now write it out on paper, right? Because you think you get everything out when you're just thinking about it, but you write it out, you be intentional, like you got to set time for it to actually start writing, man. You get your creative juices flowing first off, and then like it's so much better to like visualize it. I don't know if it's just because I'm a visual person, like I gotta see something to like make it stick, because they say like 10% of learning in school is just audio, right? Somebody just throwing all this info at you, and only 10% of people actually can grasp it. And then, it's like, I think they said it was like 10% is visual, or you got to actually see it to do it. And then 80% is like the one where it's like you're hearing how to do it while you're like touching it, doing it, whatever. But like I'm more of like a visual guy. So I don't know where I was going with that. But I don't know. I was just thinking about fucking school again. Like, man, that's ooh, I don't like it. Ooh, I do not like it. But anyways, just get you a journal, because visualizing it kind of it helps. Honestly, that's what helped me in a way. And just write everything out. Obviously, I think my biggest problem is just being an overthinker. I literally overthink everything. Okay, and it comes to hurt me, because I don't take action. Right? I always think I need to prepare more. Oh no, I need to read a little bit more about this topic before I can dive into it. Oh, I don't know if I should really make YouTube videos yet. Like, I don't think I really got enough experience. Maybe I should go try something else out, or and just wait and just come back to it. Or maybe I should read a book on how to speak better, because my speaking is not really that good. Like, I've told myself this year after year after year, where I should never do it. Oh man, like, this ain't even gonna work out. Like, it's so saturated. Everybody's on YouTube and this and that. Like, a million excuses, just overthinking. That that's the main thing that I do. And obviously it just leads to procrastination, right? Because at the end of the day, it's something that I've always wanted to do. I don't care about the money. Like, I could make 1,000 videos, not see a dime from it. I don't care, because I genuinely enjoy it. I genuinely I regret not recording these past like 5 years since I graduated high school, really. Me coming up, right? Because I'm thinking I gotta be a 99 overall in order for me to actually show off my life. But it would have been cool seeing when I started as like a 55 overall. And then I'm moving my ranks up, right? To how I got to a 60, to a 65, to a 70 overall, And I feel like right now, I don't even know how to rank it. Let's just say I'm at a 78. I think that's fair. I think that's fair. Somewhere in the 70s. I don't know. I'm just talking. If you know about 2K, you know. But regardless, me making these videos is like, I can make 1,000 videos and nothing hit, but it's something that I always wanted to do. So why procrastinate? And in a sense, it literally is me documenting my journey, right? If it helps people along the way, which honestly, it's probably gonna help. I know it will help, because I'm gonna show my family it. I'm gonna show, when it's time, younger bulls in my life, some guidance, and kind of see where I was at in my thinking in 2030, or in 2025 right now, but it's gonna be 2030. I'm gonna come back and look at this and see where I'm at. Like, man, it's such a beautiful thing, and of course I want to help people along the way. Of course I do. So that's kind of my whole thing for insight, right? So taking the risk, you weigh it out. You write all your options down. Okay. You think about it. Give yourself a time period, because a lot of people is like, all right, yeah, I'm gonna get to it tomorrow. I'm gonna get to it next week, next month, next year. Is how that flows, right? So it's like, man, I'm debating right now if I should go over the road, right? I'm putting the pros, I'm putting the cons together. I'm realizing, well, if I go over the road, I won't be. Con is I can't work a second job, so I can't make that extra income. Okay, so that's a con. A con, I might not be able to go to the gym every day like I like, right? But on the flip side, I can still work out. I'm not gonna use that as an excuse. Oh man, I can't work out today because I don't have a gym. I'm in a truck lot. No, I can do calisthenics. I could do a little ringer, run around the block a million times to get my miles in, and push ups, and stuff like that, right? At the end of the day, it's just an excuse. As far as the money, like, yeah, I can't do part-time job during the week like I was doing, but that would give me more time to do something that I'm actually like passionate in, like something that brings me purpose in making videos. So honestly, when you weigh it out, give yourself a deadline. Like I'm thinking at end of this week, man. October, I don't even know what today is. At the end of this week, right? I'm not gonna go into November, right, and not have something planned out. Like in the next like day or two, it's been heavy on my mind, right? I try to give myself enough time is the thing too. I don't like making like super rash decisions, like just quick like that. I don't try to just, okay, today I just thought about working over the road. I'm gonna drop everything I'm doing and just do it now. Like tomorrow I'm starting. Like I'm not that quick. There might be power in being that quick on something, but to me, I like to weigh my options out. I definitely like to weigh my options out as far as just a job, honestly, because I am applying. I put out mass applications and I'm getting, a lot of hits. A lot of people call me back. And well, yesterday was actually the first day that, because I did it early in the morning, right? I did it like at like 5, like 4, 5, 6 o'clock in the morning. I just hurried up. I just started mass applying. I didn't think I was going to do as many as I did, but I was just kind of like a flow state. And I was like, man, come on, let's just keep going. So I just kept going and going and going. I sent out all these apps. I'm like, shoot, this is basically everything I want to do. I really don't have anything else on my list to apply to. So yesterday I had a whole bunch of people calling me, everything like that. I didn't want to answer. I like calling them, talking to them when I feel like talking. Like when somebody calls me, I might not be in the mental to just be talking, right? I think that's like the introvert. That's the introvert in me. Like, man, I could talk to people. I can have a conversation, but majority of the time I like being alone. I like keeping my peace to myself. So when I'm ready to talk, that's when I call people, right? So I was calling them back yesterday. I didn't even make it through my full list. That's probably what I'm gonna do today. Hopefully get some more calls, and I gotta weigh out my options. Right now I have one company I'm sitting on, man. It's not that good to be true, but it's like a decent job. Like, man, you know what? It's about 2, 3 nights out, so it's not like the full 5 days, right? And I'm talking all about this company. I'm probably not even gonna be with it, which is the funny part. Anytime I ever had like a decent opportunity with a job, I never got it, right? Cause like even with like a tanker, I wanted to be a tanker job, and they was paying crazy. And I went to the interview, did the test drive, everything seemed cool, right? And he just never hit me up. I tried calling him and calling him. He ignored my calls. I'm like, all right, screw you then. And that's when I went somewhere else. But regardless, I'm putting in apps. So even if I don't get this one that I'm thinking about, if I leave on a Monday, come home on a Friday, that's like the worst case over the road type thing. I don't want to be those ones that are like 2, 3 weeks out in a truck, right? Be cross country in Cali and stuff. Like, nah, I'm cool. Like, keep me on the East Coast. I'm fine. I'm good with that, you know. So leave on a Monday, come home on Friday. I mean, that would give me more time to really make videos, because I'm so worried about everything else going on. If I spend all that time alone, not saying that my mom is a distraction to me, but it's like if I come home and I see her, like I'm obviously gonna talk to her, you know, and we might go do something else. Might just go on a walk. I wasn't thinking about it, but she want to go on a walk. I'm like, yeah, all right, that's a good idea. So I wouldn't have that though, right? There would be so much time alone in the truck. I can focus on what's actually like purposeful to me. And who knows? Maybe it's only a year. Maybe it's only 2 years, right? And then I just come back to a local job, or just see what happens, you know? And I guess the main thing is taking risks. Yes, you do have to be smart in it, but life's a risk, you know? And so many times we try to be so risk averse, which it's hard to not do, you know? It's like if you're making 90K a year in a job, and you have everything set for you in place, but you know that this job is not fulfilling to you. You have a bigger dream, you have a bigger goal that you want to do in life. Well, you might have to, cut your income in half. It might get cut in half. Your lifestyle might not be, as high as it was off that 90K. It might be down to that 45K lifestyle, you know? And it sucks because you don't even know if your dream is gonna work out. That thing that you're so passionate about that, you could go on and talk about for hours and hours and hours, and time just flies by. Like that dream, that goal. If that goes by, there's no guarantee that that even works. And then you just took a half a pay cut. You don't know if you can get that good job back, and it sucks, Which is why I'm doing it when I'm in my 20s. Honestly, while I'm still young, because I definitely understand why guys that are 30 plus, they don't take any risk. It's like everything's already set. You got the wife, kids, everything else. You really can't take a risk and make half your income because you have people now that are relying on you. Right now, I ain't got nobody relying on me. I pay, you know, half rent, but that ain't really no money. Like it's not like I'm getting a crazy decrease from not having to work a second job or uh, something like that. Like I'm still making decent money as a trucker, but that extra time is gonna be going towards something purposeful. And it's the risk. I'm kind of scared about just being out on the road. I never had something like that. And just it's about leap of faith. So write out your options, set a deadline. You have to have a time when you are going to get this done by, right? Not saying you have to do it like literally tomorrow or even in the next week, but give yourself if you want, depending on how big that risk you're trying to take right now. If you're on the same, like, I feel like my risk, like this, the level of intensity is pretty much up here, right? It's probably like an 8 out of 10. So I can't make a decision in 1-2 days, right? I do need that 2, maybe 3 weeks to decide, which I've already been sitting on it for about a week now. I give it another week. That's what I'm saying. At the end of the week, like I need to have my thing already done. Even with its like say it's something you always wanted to do, like you wanted to get a bike, you know, don't don't let it sit for 2-3 months. That turns into 2-3 years, and then you're not, doing what you wanted to do. You wanted to get that bike, right? You wanted to get that motorcycle. As I'm hearing one go by, you wanted to get that motorcycle. So, you let the time go by. Eventually, you get too old, and something that you always wanted to do never happened. Okay, so you weigh out your options. You're like, all right, yeah, I definitely want it. Let me budget to work backwards in this 5, 10, whatever, how much you're going to spend on getting the bike. Let me give myself a 3-6 month period. If you're going to give yourself 6 months, it has to be a hard 6 months. And then you work backwards. You break it down. All right, 6 months, I need to have 6K saved. So that means every month I need 1,000 saved. By the end of the month, I need 1,000 saved. That's working towards something I've always loved, getting a motorcycle. It's like it's stuff with that. Like it's anything in life. But I'm pretty much gonna leave it out on that. Like, a risk is just it's a part of life, man. It's a risk when you walk outside every day. You don't know if you're gonna make it to tomorrow. I don't know if anyone's gonna come up and run up on me while I'm sitting here on this bench. It's 3 o'clock in the morning. Like, ain't nobody really out here. I don't think anybody really gonna save me. Like it's a risk coming out here, but I wanted to put this video out more than my, I don't know, paranoia state of someone running up on me is, so, but pretty much that's all I got, man. Appreciate you listening. I'm out.